All right, so we're just going to use Univah today. The purpose of this video is to see whether or not Univah can pass what I call the Canva test. Canva is a very easy to use design platform. And that's pretty much part of the appeal of the entire software platform is that it's easy for anyone, even if you're a non-designer. If you go into Canva, you'll be able to make album covers for your CDs or your music videos. You'll be able to make flyers. You'll be able to, you'll be able to get some things done. So between Canva and Figma, Figma is a bit more advanced. The point is that if we can create a 3D software that has the power of Maya, the power of Houdini, real-time speed, but with the ease of use of something like Canva or even ChatGPT, then we know we have something really special here. Because essentially, anybody will be able to get into Univah and create something beautiful. And that's what we've been doing all week is testing Univah on people that know nothing about 3D. So if we can get people who have absolutely no experience with anything 3D and they've never used a 3D software, but when they see Univah, their eyes light up and they say, "Oh my gosh, I can do this. I can see myself using this tool to make something. I can make a cool effect in minutes, in seconds." And that is the ultimate compliment for me. So let's start by applying a bend deformer. In order to do so accurately, we need to increase the subdivisions of the cube. So that's what you've seen me do here. I've increased the subdivisions to, what is it, 10? Yes. And of course, you can do spherify, you could do bevis, or what is that, bevel? Or bevel, excuse me. So yes, you can do that. But here you just want to go ahead and choose a deformer. Right now we're going to use bend. And you just bend. You just bend it. So if you are new to deformers and you don't really know what deformers are, this would probably be very interesting to iClone users. So if we have some really talented iClone users, uh, if you've never used Maya, because most of you haven't, so to iClone users, this is going to be really fun because this is your introduction to deformers. Now, if you're a Maya user, Blender user, Houdini user, then you already know how this works. So right now I'm recording my screen. I'm making a video of what I'm doing. So the pop video recorder that you see me placing at the bottom there, that's recording my session. So I'm actually, while doing the screen record of the actual tutorial, I'm also simultaneously uh, creating a live video of myself bending this cube. And when I'm done bending the cube, I'm going to save that video to my desktop and I can watch that video or see, you could use it as a daily. So in Univah, it's so incredibly easy to create quick animations instantly using our instant video export. So that's what you see going on right now. I'm just going to bend this cube a little bit. And with deformers, you can do so many cool effects. So many cool effects. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons I added deformers to Univah, you want to know why I added deformers? Okay. The movie that made me have to add deformers to Univah was Inception. So, do you remember the scene in Inception? If you've seen that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and the girl from Juno. Okay, so Juno and Leonardo in Inception, they were walking down the street minding their own business. And there's a scene in Inception where the whole city, right? The whole city block just starts to bend. toward. Yeah, it's wild. The whole city block just starts to bend towards them, and they're just like standing there. Juno's like, "What the heck?" She doesn't know if she's dreaming or she's awake. She doesn't know what's going on. So the whole city just bends towards them, and like the street, the cars, everything on it is bending toward Juno and Leonardo. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh wow, that is so cool! That's such a cool effect." And I know exactly how they did it. It's so cool and actually surprisingly easy to do. So that's just using a bend deformer. I mean, there are many ways to do that effect, but the easiest way to recreate an effect like that in Univah would be just to use the bend deformer. So you would create your street just like you saw me create this cube, add some cars, some animated cars, add some people, attach the cars to the road, to the street, and then apply the bend deformer to the street and bend it. And everything that's attached to it is going to bend with it. It's that simple. So now you have a cool bend effect like what you see in Inception. And of course, you want to use your low bound and high bounds because that's going to determine where the bend starts. So if it starts like in the middle, or if it starts at the top or at the bottom. So that's how you kind of control how it bends using low and high bound, right? So it was, I kid you not, it's because of that movie, that scene. When I saw the street bending, I was like, "Whoa, we have to do that in Univah. We have to let people do that in Univah themselves, all by themselves, and it has to be easy. We don't want to make it difficult." So yeah, giving you Hollywood quality effects, giving you the ability to make Hollywood level effects in a software that's shooting for the Canva ease of use, with the Figma controls in terms of like complexity, and you're getting the power of a lot of tools like Maya, Houdini, but with Canva like ease of use. So that's really what makes Universe so dangerous, is because every time I go to the library and I use this tool, and I ask the people around me, "Hey, do you like this software? Is this something you would want to try?" They're like, "Yeah, I mean," and I'm like, "Do you have any experience in 3D?" And they're like, "No, I don't know anything about 3D software." I'm like, "Okay, great. You're exactly the kind of people we want." You're exactly what we want. Because if you, who has no experience, can understand this software, then we know it's going to be a huge success with the general public. We're not just targeting highly technical 3D artists. If we were, then we would have made Univah just like Maya. We would have made some overly technical, very complicated software like Houdini with node graphs. If that was our target audience, then we would have done the node graph thing just like Houdini. But because we're targeting the general public, we're targeting artists, we're targeting film directors, people who are visual, not people who are technical. And visual people just want to see visuals. They don't want to see node graphs. They want to use a color picker. They don't want to use a node. If they want to add a gradient to something, they want to just do it. They don't want a node. Okay? So, because we're targeting people that think like artists, people that are artistic, that's why we've made Univah in such a common sense way, so that we don't scare away people that are not technical. You know, the general public should feel absolutely confident trying this tool and knowing that they can create something really neat, create an animation very quickly that they can share on social media with their friends very quickly using Univah. So that's really cool. Pretty darn cool. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm just using the tool, just using it. Uh, oh yeah, contact shadows. I forgot. Yes. So we're gonna talk about contact shadows now. And this feature is really important. It's not something that you're going to need to turn on. Like 80% of the time, you're not going to need to turn this on. But what this does is if you don't want to add any lights to your scene, but you still want contact shadows, then you can just turn this on. And even if you have no lights, this will still work. So this is like a shadow cheat. It'll still give you those shadows between objects at the intersection where objects touch. So, but you have to tweak it. You've got to tweak it because uh, this is the cool thing about Univah. We never just give you something that you turn on and off. We give you parameters so that you can tweak it. So you can control the quality. As you can see, low quality, you start to see these, uh, I don't know if the word is artifacts, but at low quality, it's not going to look too hot. So you might want to boost that up a bit. Okay. So, and just play with the bias. When it comes to shadows, bias is super important. So, play with the bias, play with the intensity, and play with all the sliders until you get the look that you want. But essentially, that's what contact shadows do. They give a bit more. They add more realism because, as you can see, without contact shadows, things kind of look floaty. But with contact shadows, it makes things grounded. It makes things look, you know, it adds that that's really intense. But you see that effect can look good depending on what you're rendering. Okay, so it just depends. That's why we give you these controls so that you can get the look you want. Okay, so yeah. Yes, so that's contact shadows. And some people, what they like to do these days is if they're using a 3D software that doesn't give them the shadows that they need, they'll just go to AI and they'll upload the image or the video to AI, and then they'll ask AI to add shadows to the video or the image, and AI will add shadows for you. So that's one way of doing it. You can always add more shadows, or if you're a very technical person, you can go into Nuke and you can add shadows into your images, videos using Nuke compositing or After Effects compositing. That's what all of these different render passes are for. Okay, so when you do different render passes, it's so that you can do compositing later and you can add more shadows, you can change shadows, you can do a lot with compositing. So, what we do in Univah is we give you a professional workflow, and because we don't really want to be an AI software, so we let you author a lot of things yourself, but we make it easy to author those things. So, whereas in other softwares, shadows would be setting up like 5, 10 different node graphs. Here it's just sliders. So, uh, adding fog, it should be a click of a button. It shouldn't be difficult. So, yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video. As you can see, I had my little video recording playing at the bottom right there. That's the video we recorded of ourselves working, and it's still playing. It plays on a loop. And now we're adding a religion effect with some fog, just so that you guys can see the workflow of this very powerful tool, which miraculously is also really easy to use. Like, how did we pull this off? Is what I'm trying to figure out.